Festival de
Trying to speak
Salsicha.
Portuguese.
What a joker.
This is an interview for Gabriella, our friend in Brazil. James is gonna be the interviewer for today, and read Gabriella's questions in Portuguese.
Fluent Portuguese. How did you decide to set up a band? Did you have any ideas in mind, like a style, or did it just happen in a natural way?
We all played in a lot of different bands together at different shows.
And we all had different backgrounds, so we all decided to be in bands because of different reasons, I guess. Like, I had more of a kind of singing, musical theatre background and dancing and stuff, and so did Woody. So then I guess you guys kind of came more from just listening to heaps of bands and wanting to be in them.
Is it still recording?
This is such a DIY interview.
It is still recording. And then one day in 2008, we had some songs, and we took holidays from our jobs and went to a recording studio for a week and wrote our first EP, and didn't even have a band name. And we decided that we liked the songs, and it was a really good band, we thought.
We liked it because we'd all played in quite alternative bands, but then this was a bit more pop, so it was kind of close to our hearts. And then, then it just became our band.
Lovely, lovely.
Was that a good answer?
Fantastic. Here in Brazil, our first language is not English. Tell us about the meaning of Streamer Bendy. Can you believe I couldn't find a translation for it? Had bad dictionary. How was the idea for this name?
Well, that's because it's not a word. I guess bendy's a word.
Streamer is.
2 words.
Oh, streamers.
Streamers are like ribbons, and bendy is like to bend something.
Yeah,
But that has nothing to do with the band name.
no, we actually named the
Bending.
Bendy.
Bendy.
We named the band after my imaginary friend when I was little. So I had like a pretend friend that I used to talk to, and that was her name.
When people ask about what kind of music your band plays, how do you answer?
I think you should answer this. Well, James.
That's probably the hardest question because everybody thinks they're like completely original, but I would say we play tough pop is what I would like to call it. But it's probably the hardest question, as probably the reason why you asked it. But yeah, it's pop, but a bit of more edge. And I would say tough pop. I think I like tough pop.
So like
Face-melting tough pop.
Well, now you're adding too many words. Now you're being one of those people that's trying to claim...
It's like nothing you've ever heard before.
hard,
But everything all at once.
hard pop.
Hard pop. Okay, I like that.
It's pop music.
I don't know. It's guitars and drums and stuff, and it
Good
makes
point.
noises.
This one is probably directed at everyone. What kind of bands inspire you when you are writing new songs? Who are your backgrounds?
I suppose it depends. Like Aaron was saying at the start, we all come from different backgrounds. Like Matt and Damon both used to really super love metal and hard rock, and I personally really liked hard rock and pop and music theatre, as did Aaron said, and she said at the start. And James has always loved a broad range of stuff, including heaps of kind of like indie and
Mostly 50 Cent and Eminem.
Limp Bizkit, man.
heaps of stuff. So
I love Limp Bizkit.
Eminem and Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, we all like good beats and good melodies.
But now I really like Robin and Diane Antwoord, and
I'm so cool.
Woody really loves Katy Perry, and I love Katy Perry. We all love that kind of stuff.
I actually decided the other day I really like Kesha.
I love Avril Lavigne, man.
Yeah, me too.
Forever.
I
She's
still
the
like Limp
best.
Bizkit and Eminem.
That's all.
What kind of support do you guys have in Australia? Is it easy to promote rock bands over there?
Well, actually, there's a lot of support for rock music in Australia, but the problem in Australia is simply that it's really difficult to tour because cities are all so spread apart. Like, you have to travel 2 days to get to the next major city. So when you tour, it's always really like a huge, exhausting and expensive experience because you've got to drive or fly from one city to the other. You can't really stop in between.
And it takes hours,
And it
man.
takes so long.
It once took me 27 hours to drive home from a show. I played a show in Adelaide and I had to drive back to Brisbane, and it took 27 hours.
Yeah.
And if you go away to tour to Melbourne for the weekend, it takes like
18?
2 days just to get there and back to play one show. It takes a long time.
But I
It's
think
fun.
there's definitely a lot of support for rock music in Australia. there's a lot more support for rock music than there is for pop music, actually. So, what do you think, Damon?
I like
That's
Tool.
another question. I mean, I think there's
Deep sigh.
I like Tool.
I like turtles.
There's a lot of support for all kinds of genres. It is all though about
All
like
kinds of genres.
for like how you put yourself out there and how that happens and exposing yourself. But I think pop is super popular.
Hence
It's,
the name.
Hence the name, popular music.
Next.
Next question. No, I think that was a good answer. Like, I personally think.
Are you rating the answers now?
No. Well, a little.
Out of 10.
No, to that question, like, I think it's relatively easy to promote rock bands. I think there's a massive market in every state in Australia for local bands.
That's not water, please.
That's true.
And for bands in general. And I honestly haven't been to really anywhere else in the world, but music in Australia is huge. Massive, I would say. Next question is, I read on Xenia Records that you're recording the musics in Sweden. Why not Australia?
Because Sweden is the best place in the world to make pop music, and it's so awesome, and everybody there is amazing and so talented, and a lot of our favourite bands come from Sweden. Lots of them.
Most really
Melancholy.
big tracks that you hear on the radio that are really big pop tracks were probably recorded either in Stockholm, in Sweden, or in America. I mean, that's generalising, but
We
mostly...
wrote a bit of the album in LA too. So
Yeah, I said America.
Oh.
Los Angeles is in America.
it is.
But I think you're exactly right, as in, like, and that's what the biggest thing I learnt, and when people tell me, like, all the big songs that people think, like, that they know and stuff, and any big Britney Spears song, Pink song, Katy Perry, like, a decent enough majority of them are written in that one city,
Yeah.
which is quite amazing, because there's not even a lot of people in that city.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's
And
quite-
it's quite interesting because a lot of the producers that are in Stockholm just has a really interesting, different attitude towards writing a song. It's very commercial based, and it's all about writing a hit. And so I think, when they go to their songwriting schools, it's all about writing a hit. And I mean, I know,
We
for
love
example,
hits.
in Australia over here, if you go to a songwriting class, it's more about, for some reason here, it's more about being original and alternative and like coming up with something really different. Whereas over there, they're just like, this makes money, like do this the best you can and put your own spin on it. And that's really cool.
If you know how to write a good song, then you can be as original as you want
Exactly.
writing a good song.
Yeah. So
I
that's
hope
pretty
we
cool.
write good songs.
But yeah, we loved it over there. We had I've been 3 times now, and the guy Matt had been a couple times, but these guys, it was their first time, and they just loved it. It's a beautiful city, Stockholm.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
This is pretty much the last question, so we better make it worthwhile. It's not even that, is it?
I was just.
Have you ever considered Brazil as an option for promoting your band? How can Brazilian fans get the musics? Do you have a CD or only iTunes?
Both. We have both. And of course, we would love to play everywhere in the world. I think I can happily say that for everyone. So if the opportunity came up, we would definitely
would
come to
love to
Brazil.
come.
And
One of my best friends is from Brazil, and he was in a band called Holly Tree, and you should look it up.
Holly Tree, yeah, they were super cool. George, our friend George, Matt has told us a lot about Brazil, and it sounds so amazing, and we would love to come. I think our EP is available on iTunes. It should be available worldwide, shouldn't it?
iTunes is everywhere.
Yeah, the
but
EP.
you can't get a CD unless you come to Australia. Sorry.
Yeah, so you can buy it on iTunes. And if you if any of you really want one, we'd be happy to send it out to you. But the new CD that we've just recorded, our album, will definitely be available on iTunes for you to get. And then in regards to actually getting a hard copy, we can send them to you. But if sales start going well in Brazil, then we will definitely release a hard copy in Brazil. So if the sales go well on iTunes, then I'd say we'll probably come over and tour.
And if we get there,
In Sao Paulo,
when we get there,
Rio de Janeiro.
you probably give Alex $5 and he'll sing you a song on the guitar, really
He'll
loudly.
probably do it for free.
Oh,
He'll
no,
probably do it for
he'll do
free.
it for free. He'll pay
Or
you.
maybe a kiss on the
I'll
cheek.
do it for a high five.
He'll give you $5 to let him play you a song.
He'll give you $5.
Maybe 6.
And lastly, like, do we all remember how to say hello?
Hola!
Hold up, wait, because the next part says, Aaron and the boys, thank you a lot for this interview and say hello to South America.
Hola!